Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for everyone watching online. I am thankful that we have an opportunity to look at these scriptures again. In 1997, who was not born, by the way, yet in 1997? A couple of you. I know the kids, at least. So 1997, Amy and I had just moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we got this really, cute apartment. We only lived there for 3 months. That's a story for a different day. But we had this great apartment. And we would spend our Saturdays selling Beanie Babies. Now, I didn't own a Beanie Baby business. It's a Beanie Baby business. That's fun. I had a friend who owned a Beanie Baby business. He made about $100,000 a year selling Beanie Babies. Very impressive time. And so this is a buddy of mine from college. He would come up, and we would just help him out on Saturdays for fun at the flea market. I love dickering with folks and arguing price, and so that was a lot of fun. And then they would take us out to eat, and then we would just hang out on Saturday nights, go to church on Sunday. It was just what you do, I guess, when you're 26 and you've got nothing to do on the weekends, and it was a lot of fun. So here was this typical Saturday. We sold the Beanie Babies for ridiculous prices. That American Bear was ridiculous. You could get like $100 for the American Bear. But aside from that point, we're hanging out at the apartment, and television's on, and I think it's a football game. And all of a sudden, the news breaks in on the television to tell us that Princess Diana has died in a car crash. Now, if you weren't around at that point in time, none of us were necessarily royal fans, meaning we didn't literally kind of rise and fall by how things went by Princess Di, but the world shut down, in America at least, and in England for about 2 weeks. And I'm speaking to someone who probably lived through that moment, so I'm going to speak about it gently on this side. Didn't think about that when I wrote this illustration. And so the whole world stopped. It just did. Time magazine, Life magazine, commemorative covers. Just for about 2 weeks, we were just all focused on what was going on here. And the funeral was, if you can call it, was beautiful. It was regal. And we just zoomed in on every moment of that, and her boys, and just what they were going to go through. And it just seems that for some reason, every few years, America gets caught up in the royals. We do. We just, all of a sudden, it's just foreign to us, right? We don't have that system. We kind of want it, but we don't want it. I mean, even right now, the national news, most every morning gives us an update on what? Does anybody know? The royal wedding. You're Harry and Meghan. And who is Harry? He's the son of Princess Di. It doesn't stop. And so just every morning we get an update on clothing and her princess lessons. We just get caught up every now and then. But no matter what, it fades because there's just a disconnect between Americans and what it's like to have people around us who are royal. We're attracted to it, but it also repels us as well because we like capitalism more so, and we like republicanism, and the monarchy it's just, we don't know what to do with it. It's attractive, but it repels us all at the same time. We have a disconnect between royalty and being called a commoner. Now, the scriptures are written through the line of royalty. The command and the promise that a coming Messiah king would come started back in Genesis. We've been in 1 Samuel for an incredibly long time, and we saw Israel itself make the awkward adjustment to what it was like to have a king. And King Saul quickly becomes a mess. It's quickly taken away from him. There's going to be a coming king in the promise, and that will be David. And we'll see from David when we get there one day that royal line will continue on through eternity. Every Christmas, the king has come, and we celebrate the advent and the arrival of King Jesus. And this week, on Palm Sunday, Jesus, in humility, is going to ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. And the people are going to break palm leaves off the tree, and they're going to wave them, and they're going to shout, "Hosanna! Fear not, daughter of Zion, your king has come." Now notice the connection there. The king has come, and what's the command and what's the promise? Don't fear. Fear not. There's a connection between the advent and arrival of King Jesus and the disappearing of your fear. Now, if I tell you this, if I say, because Jesus